Hello everyone, and welcome to my Y&R Homies channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Next 2 weeks for the young and the restless. Sharon's revolutionary news. Martin spins uncontrollably, Chelsea's audacious step. According to teasers for the upcoming 2 weeks of the young and the restless, which run from March 17th to March 28th, Martin Laurent, also known as Alain Laurent, will lose his mind while Sharon Newman will get news that will change her life. There will be a lot going on in Genoa City because Chelsea Lawson will also make a daring move. Tracy Abbott will interrogate Alan about the strange warnings on his phone over the week of March 17th to 21st, but he will dismiss them as random hacking and become irritated throughout the interrogation. Alan will eventually persuade Tracy to focus on their impending nuptials and will want to take her to Paris to look at some potential wedding locations. Also, he will say, actually, Martin could just want Tracy to leave town as quickly as possible before all of his secrets are revealed. She will display her vulnerability with Billy Abbott over with Phyllis Summers. Billy will support Phyllis during a difficult time and work with her to help her take back her life at Abbott Communications. Nick Newman, on the other hand, will get an unexpected invitation. This will lead to a crucial conversation as Sharon will encourage Nick to accompany her on her vacation to Europe with Faith Newman. It appears that Sharon will acknowledge that she has had plenty of time to reflect about her relationship with Nick, particularly after being imprisoned during 2 abduction attempts. It appears that Sharon will have the courage to admit that she frequently considers a romantic reunion with Nick since she has more than just friendship love for him. In order to provide Sharon some life-altering updates, Sharon will then encourage Nick to be open about his feelings as well. At least Sharon will see she needs to move on if Nick keeps her in the friend zone. They could both be speculating about a new course for their relationship, though, as Nick might also want Sharon back. Claire Newman could be pushed to her breaking point in the meanwhile, as Summer Newman will continue to adhere to Kyle Abbott like glue. Kyle may be concerned about the direction of the tension between Claire and Summer, as Victor Newman will also irritate him by presenting him with the facts. Holden Novak will then play with fire as Lily Winters worries about Damien Kane's covert plan. Although Audra Charles would emphasize that she is currently with Nate Hastings and is not interested in rekindling her romance with her ex-boyfriend, we will see Holden take some chances with her. Chelsea will make a daring move with Adam Newman, according to other Y&R spoilers. Passion will probably break out in the bedroom as Chelsea seems to be sick of suppressing her emotions. She will receive some advice from Diane Jenkins Abbott and Jack Abbott after she returns to Tracy. Tracy may admit that Alan appears tense and speculate that their engagement may be the cause. Diane and Jack may tell Tracy that Alan is smitten with her and advise her to accept his offer to look for a wedding location in Paris. There will be basketball programming on Thursday, March 20th, as Y&R will be postponed for March Madness. Remember to factor in another basketball-related preemption when scheduling your soap opera viewing for Friday, March 21st. Some security footage from a hardware shop will probably lead Chance Chancellor to a finding over the week of March 24th to 28th. There ought to be proof that Alan bought the supplies for the room where Sharon and Phyllis were trapped. Will Chance discover that Alan is truly Martin, his evil twin brother? Can Chance prevent Tracy and Martin from boarding an aircraft and heading into worse danger? Tracy may find herself in a dangerous scenario since Martin will undoubtedly lose it as this narrative intensifies. There's a potential that Martin and Tracy's vacation to Europe may overlap with Sharon, Faith, and Nick's if they manage to leave the country. In any event, according to spoilers for The Young and the Restless, the chaos in Martin is going to grow worse, so pay attention. For amazing Young and the Restless spoilers, news, and updates, CDL is the place to be. Visit often for more information. Martin next kidnaps Tracy, but doesn't allow the romantic bubble to pop. According to teasers on The Young and the Restless, Martin Laurent, also known as Alain Laurent, could abduct Tracy Abbott next. Let's discuss the possible outcomes as Martin might not let his romantic bubble to pop. It is now clear that Alan is actually Martin, his twin brother. Fans of Y&R will remember that during their confrontation in France, Martin, a deadly psychopath, went over the side of the balcony with Alan. Martin appears to be the twin that came out of the confrontation alive, despite the fact that Alan was thought to have survived the fall. Martin has tricked Tracy into believing he's the man of her dreams by pretending to be Alan. Martin, on the other hand, appears to sincerely care for Tracy and is undoubtedly reluctant to let her leave. After listening to Martin's statement on how Tracy made him a better man, viewers may have come to believe that he is deserving of someone like her. Maybe Martin saw Tracy falling for him as evidence that he is not the monster that everyone believed him to be. That illusion will be shattered if Martin loses Tracy now. Martin is happy to continue portraying the nice, everyday Alan, although he hasn't really changed since he was responsible for the kidnapping drama involving Sharon Newman and Phyllis Summers. Regretfully, Martin could abduct another person before his plot conclude. Will Tracy become the next victim of Martin's kidnapping and find herself in a very precarious situation? There will be issues once Martin spies Tracy while she is holding his phone. Tracy may ask Alan about the messages he's been getting regarding the clinic security breach and wonder what's going on. Naturally, the discovery of Sharon and Phyllis in Havenhurst Psychiatric Clinic will also make headlines throughout Genoa City. Tracy could figure out that Alan was responsible for that frightening game and eventually convince him that he is Martin. Martin may then take Tracy captive someplace else and threaten to murder them both as a result. Given that Martin has been making such lofty forecasts about their marriage, Y&R may adopt a till death do us part stance. Martin stated that he couldn't envision his life without Tracy. Stay tuned for updates on all the twists and turns ahead, as Tracy may find herself in dire need of rescue. According to teasers on The Young and the Restless, Tracy may be the next hostage character to struggle for survival. Visit CDL often for more amazing Young and the Restless spoilers, news, and updates. Has Martin regained control of Alan's life, or has Martin always been in charge? The Young and the Uneasy. According to spoilers, Martin Laurent has regained control of his brother Alan Laurent's life. Martin and Alan were thought to have been murdered when they fell out of a window during a fight in Paris. At the time, fans wondered who had survived. Did Alan stage Martin's death that day, or did he die in Martin's place? Is the brother who passed many months ago Alan Laurent? The last time Alan was with Ashley Abbott in Paris, Alan was discovered locked up in a cupboard after Martin took over his life. After a fight, Alan and Martin tumbled out of the window. Martin was declared deceased by Alan. Nevertheless, little information regarding the outcomes was presented. Was Martin's death staged by Alan? Has Martin been posing as Alan the entire time? After spending so much time with Martin, is Tracy Abbott in danger? Alan and Martin are very different. Tracy could actually be in danger. When Martin was pretending to be Alan, take a look at what he did to her sister. Martin doesn't need to be close to Tracy because he is a mental patient himself. For months, fans have been wondering about this swap. Since June 2024, fans have been wondering which Laurent brother passed away that night in the autumn. When it was all over, he behaved like Alan. But Martin is responsible for the kidnappings of Sharon Newman and Phyllis Summers, and everyone is trying to find him. If people understood the truth, what would they think? Martin's attack on Ashley, which triggered her has already demonstrated his threat. In order to assist her and get her into therapy, Alan was there. Alan would not, however, be taking hostages, which is Martin's method of operation. Will Nick Newman be able to protect Phyllis and Sharon from this insane man? It will be devastating for Tracy Abbott. Tracy will be heartbroken to find out that she is dealing with Martin instead of Alan because she is so in love with him. Tracy may be in serious risk if she were to discover this out and say something.